Well, hope you're really having a wonderful evening. It has been a while since we last came live on this channel. That is the United Matters channel. And hope you guys really having a fantastic stay in here onto the United Matters channel. We are here to discuss lots of things that Erik ten Hag is going to hate, obviously reveal to us as United found themselves in a position of really addressing the media ahead of their huge encounter against Sheffield. Erik ten Hag is going to hate to speak on loads of things that are going to hate obviously put us into the know that everyone is really knowing about this beautiful game of football. So smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily, as we bring or break down what Erik ten Hag is going to hate to say about this fixture of Manchester United. That is going to be the 9th match day into the league of the Premier League. So we are here to bring you the latest as it obviously goes on through, but nevertheless we have lots of things to talk about, and just keep it this channel and don't look elsewhere. And we are obviously having few subscribers that we are left with to hit close to the required number of subscribers before we end this month, and that is 6,000, right? We want 16,000 subscribers before the end of this channel and before the end of this month, and continue to subscribe. I'm having Evan Jones. Hello, brother. Hello, and how are you watching in through? And today we start it off with the big story coming in from Erik ten Hag that is going to hate to excite everyone and every viewer of Man United, that Erik ten Hag has told us that Rafael Varane is back. So I think, especially in defense, I'm very happy with the return of Rafael Varane and Sergio Reguilón. It's very good news. Obviously, if you've been watching Man United for the previous 4-5 games, you've seen it that we've missed out onto Sergio Reguilón mainly, and Varane has been on and off. And it's good to see that he's back to obviously play part into our season as a team of Manchester United. You know, when it comes to what we call the team of Manchester United, you obviously understand that things are obviously going the right way. And when you're having a back four that is really plainly of Rafael Varane, Sergio Reguilón on the left back, Diego Dallo on the right back, and Lindelof in the central defense alongside Rafael Varane, you at least all sure that you can as well take that central defense to play against any team in the world. That is it. So it obviously comes in at a very hard time for Erik ten Hag that has been missing them, and they are finally here to obviously take us to where we deserve to be. Evans is walking in from Gini Conakry. Thank you for watching from Gini Conakry. John Biamokama, thanks bro for the update. Thank you John Biamokama for watching in always. Now that is a very huge boost, and obviously we talked about it yesterday and we are really excited. But Ten Hag is going to hate to address the injury that Casemiro got while at Brazil. He said, "It's disappointing that Casemiro got injured, but it's not too serious. I'm sure and confident that he will be back for the next matches. The good news is also that Sofiane Amrabat is really available." Now, for the situation of Casemiro, it's known to most of us. And he was forced to get back into the team of Brazil as they're going to play Uruguay, and the knock he had gotten really surged. So Erik ten Hag found it very, very unwise to obviously get this player from Brazil, yet he's going to be off for a week without kicking a ball for the club of Man United. And you all know that he's not going to be playing tomorrow because of the injury he's having, and in the midweek he's not going to play against Copenhagen because he got a red card. So that means that he has a chance to rest. He has a chance to rest and obviously come back maybe when you're playing against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, as we prepare to take on Man City on the 29th. I think that's the last weekend of October, and that is really huge news for the club of Man United, and having Casemiro back for those games is going to be very important. And for those teams of Copenhagen and for the games of Copenhagen and Sheffield, even if you're not having Casemiro, it's a must that we have to go on and really win them, because we are Manchester United. Maybe a little bit of Copenhagen. It's pretty tricky because we are really in the Champions League, and Champions League experience will be needed. But I think we have all what it takes to beat teams like Copenhagen at Old Trafford. Even Galatasaray, if Onana never gave away a stupid goal, would have found ourselves in a situation of obviously going ahead to win this. So we really need to see to it that things go on the best way as we really think they are going to be. Now, talking about Andre Onana, Erik ten Hag has gone ahead and addressed his issue on Andre Onana, and this has been what he has gone ahead to tell us. He has told us that Andre Onana, we know he'll do much better, and as every player who is coming into the Premier League, you need an integration period, but he has to step up. Big Man United goalkeepers like Peter Schmeichel and David De Gea started not doomed, and Andre knows that. Knows that it's good to know the history of the club. Now, I really don't want to obviously judge a player, that he has gone ahead to flop at the beginning of the season. Even the middle of the season, I'll only come out to give my final verdict of whether Andre Onana was a flop at Man United or not when we play the last game of the season. Because he might come good, you never know. Because his quality is not questioned. We've seen him at Ajax, we've seen him at the Cameroon national team, we've seen him at Inter Milan really being a very good goalkeeper and making some good saves. But I think it's the very first time that he's playing for an elite team like Man United. I think that's what is obviously putting him into that situation that has gone ahead to see to it that he obviously looks like a person who might flop and is costing the club of Manchester United very, very many games. So Erik ten Hag has gone ahead and obviously come out and said that about the player, that is Andre Onana. Then he also added and said the following about the player, that is Andre Onana, that we live now, we live in the future, and he has to make his future by giving better performances. I'm sure he will do. He showed it at Barcelona, Ajax, Inter Milan. He was in semi-final and final of the Champions League. I'm sure he'll give a great performance. Now, one of the most important words I'm going to hate to like into this submission of Erik ten Hag is obviously he needs to be giving better performances. That is the most important bit of this entire video. I also know that he's a very good goalkeeper. I'm going to have to defend him in the recent past. But at the juncture, all you need is results. United doesn't have a honeymoon period. That is it. Although in the game of football, the honeymoon period is there. But if at all you are really costing your team goals, one, and to make it worse, your team loses games because of you costing it goals, then it obviously makes these people think about the former goalie of Manchester United that was none other than David De Gea. So people are really thinking of David De Gea to obviously come in through and do the job. Others are calling in for Ben Dayer to see that this man gets dropped and Ben Dayer comes into that goal of United, because Andre Onana has shown us that he has gone ahead to cost us on very many occasions. Against Wolverhampton Wanderers, would have gone ahead to cost us a penalty that the referee said no. Against Bayern Munich, he costed us a goal. Against Nottingham Forest, he cost us a goal. And against Galatasaray, he cost us a goal. Remember, people are really talking about the penalty that he caused. But that third goal, he's in his 6 yards area, and Mauro Icardi is around the penalty, reaching the penalty. I think it was just reaching the 18 yards box area, and Andre Onana goes down before even Mauro Icardi put a foot to the ball. Here the likes of Varane had come and closed in on Mauro Icardi, and if at all Andre Onana had remained really standing, it would have been hard for Mauro Icardi to obviously found that chip over him. So he has gone ahead to do more harm than good to this club ever since he came in through. But all in all, you have to understand that he's a new goalie and he needs to be performing better. I know he was at Barcelona, he was at Ajax and played the Champions League semi-final. Then he played in the final of the Champions League last season. But all we need are performances that show him that is a Manchester United goalkeeper. Without him doing that, he's not going to get exonerated from being slated by the fans of Man United, unless otherwise he puts in several performances that are obviously very, very, very good to obviously put us to that level where we deserve us to be. And against against Brentford, you saw that goal that we conceded. Would have gone ahead to do better. He's not really saving us as David De Gea would have been saving us, and you obviously understand that it is piling more and more pressure onto Andre Onana into this situation. So I think he has gone ahead to get the message well from the from the gaffer, that is Erik ten Hag, and that is really known that he's a man of his word. And this comes after Rob Dawson came out and revealed to us that he's willing to obviously drop Erik ten Hag is willing to drop Andre Onana if Andre Onana doesn't up his performances at the club of Manchester United. So after that, let's see what he has gone ahead to share to say about the game of Sheffield. He said the following: every game in the EPL is difficult. If you have seen their results against City and Spurs, they are very narrow wins. If you don't play your best football, you can have a loss. We won our last game away. Finally, it's not about that. Then he said, you can't figure out the past, and last year we were third in the league. We won a cup, we were in another final, we live in the future. We have to change the future. So, he's talking about how Sheffield can be tricky on the day. And we all believe that Sheffield can be tricky on the day. Do you know why? That game of Spurs, they led it until the 90th minute by 1-0. Until when it was Kulusevski who leveled the game and Richarlison scored the winner. That's how things really happen. But it shows you exactly that it's not an easy team to deal with. We need to obviously be up to our standards to obviously meet the levels of this side of Sheffield, because they're at home. They really have some good players, and they can obviously shock us if at all we don't obviously go on full blast. We need to be functioning very well and obviously really send them a message that this is Man United, and a team like Sheffield that is really on the bottom of the table shouldn't obviously come close to us. And Ten Hag knows it, that we almost beat every team away from home in the bottom half last season. In the bottom half, that is from the 11th team to the 20th team. I think the only team that beat us away there, I think, was West Ham, because it was fighting for survival. We drew with Chelsea 1-1, but we beat Everton, we beat Wolverhampton Wanderers, we beat Nottingham Forest, we beat I think Bournemouth, we beat very many teams by the way. Let me check. Let me try. Is it even needed? I think it doesn't be needed. But you remember that away from home, teams in the bottom half were beaten, most of them. But the problem was when we faced teams in the top half of the table, we really struggled, because we only beat Fulham away from home. I think that's when the team beat away from home, because we lost to Aston Villa. We lost to, I think we beat Fulham and Everton. No, Everton was not in the top half. We beat Fulham only. That is it. Then Man City beat us, Arsenal beat us, Liverpool beat us. We drew with Tottenham 2-2. Brighton beat us, Aston Villa beat us. Which other team there? Newcastle beat us 2-0. So it shows you how hard our game of football was in that season. So it shows you that we really deserve more. And why do we deserve more? Because we are a team that knows exactly what we want in such scenarios, and we need to get ourselves into the winning position. So however much I predicted 2-0 for Man United, it might go the other way to obviously not get us to where we deserve to be. You can as well go into the live chat and tell me what your thoughts are about Andre Onana, because I'm gonna hate obviously tell you what because I have a live chat. I have a live poll into the live chat section, obviously coming through and obviously put in what we call the real gist. Now, after that, Ten Hag has been asked about Bruno changing role. He said, as a squad in periods of the season, you have to deal with certain situations like injuries, a fullback and right wing in the last couple of games. We have to find solutions. Bruno is a very good right winger as well. He has his freedom there. And then he said, playing not typically, but coming inside more. The number 10 role, and always you want to use a player like this. He's a player that creates one of the chances in all of those games. Now, this is one of the things I don't agree with Erik Ten Hag. That is it. Because Bruno, to me, he only gets us his best when he's being played as a central attacking midfielder. I think you rather get Mason Mount to play on the right attacking side of the midfield when you don't have Sancho and Anthony, because you miss out a lot on Bruno when he's not playing centrally. Bruno's biggest attribute is playing as a central attacking midfielder, and I think if you keep it going, then we are obviously going to kill off very many games. And I'm really happy that we are now having a right winger in the team, that is Anthony. He's back, and I know he's going to start tomorrow. So I don't see anything like getting Bruno Fernandes being played as a right winger in this game, and that's why you might see a double pivot of Amrabat and Mount into that beautiful game of football we're going to play against the side of Sheffield tomorrow. Then Harry Maguire came out and obviously said that people who boo players on the pitch are not real supporters of the team and are not really fans of football. Ten Hag has also gone ahead and obviously tried to defend his player by saying, I've not had boos. All of the fans were supportive for us against Brentford and the games before. I think we have a strong bond with our fans. I don't think Harry Maguire is booed. He doesn't deserve it. His performance against Brentford and for England was very good. Now, by the way, Harry Maguire is still chanceful at Man United that the fans of United have not decided to obviously come in through and obviously boo him. The people responsible for booing him are obviously the fans of England. They've booed him thrice, and they've booed him for real reasons. One, the first reason why they booed him is he found himself in a situation of really making England consider against Ukraine, and he scored an own goal against Scotland. So that's why he was booed. So he's being booed for a reason that is not performing very well. And if at all you're performing very well, there is no reason as to why players are going to go on and really boo you, you know? And Old Trafford fans will only boo a player if at all that player is really misbehaving, like they did to Paul Ebile Pogba in his last season at Man United when he was being taken off, and they booed him because his agent Mino Raiola had tried to offer him to Man City. That is it. So it shows you how huge these fans are, really so much sensitive. And they also booed the entire team when you're obviously going to really play, I think after the halftime of Brentford, where we are really behind by 1-0. So it shows you exactly that Manchester United keeps on and on and on going forward, but the fans will only boo a player or a set of players if they're not doing what they expect them to be doing. And that's exactly what you'll get from the fans of Man United. They won't forgive you, they'll go for you, and they'll give you exactly what you deserve as a person in there for you. So Harry Maguire and booing, obviously that's what they had to say about it. Now, for Lindelof, Lindelof was really part of the Swedish team that was playing Belgium, and they had to play only 45 minutes after getting news that two fans were really short dead. And Erik Ten Hag has gone ahead and reacted to that on how Lindelof is right now. He said, terrible situation, and if sad for the victims and relatives, family and friends of victims there in Brussels. It's a crazy world. Of course, Victor Lindelof had a problem it's a bad experience as Sweden national team. He was the captain and needed to go on and really take on the mantle. Then he also told us that he didn't sleep overnight. He returned, and yesterday he was back in training. He dealt with the situation. Our thoughts are with Victor Lindelof, the victims, relatives, and victims. Victor Lindelof has the energy and is ready to play this game. So maybe there was a concern, maybe that Victor Lindelof might not obviously find himself in a proper position to play this game of Manchester United as we took on the side of Sheffield. But Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to confirm to us that amid this all what happened when he was aware of the international break, the ban is obviously willing to come in through and obviously do the needful and play the game of football very, very well. That is Victor Lindelof for you. And now, before I come into the comment section, I have something to read to you about Ten Hag being asked about the Ratcliffe 25% takeover at the club of Man United. He said, no. Have you been told anything? He asked the media. So I'm not involved in this. Others in the club are dealing with this. I'm focusing on my team, focusing on the current block, and most importantly, priority is the next game. It's all about that. Now, for Erik ten Hag, he obviously needs to know that people are very inquisitive. But in this situation, he's being briefed. He knows what exactly is happening at the club of Man United, and he cannot come out and break the news about Sir Jim Ratcliffe taking a 25% take over the club of Man United. All he needs to do is simple, sit in there and wait for the club to obviously do the announcement. But we all know that when Sir Jim Ratcliffe was coming in at Old Trafford, and he obviously had to obviously scout out and get a field view of Man United, the Old Trafford Stadium, Carrington, the financial books of Man United. He obviously had to come in through and meet Erik ten Hag. And it's Erik ten Hag who told us that they went ahead to shake hands together, right, at Carrington, because he was preparing for certain fixture and he shook hands with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Now, John Evans, we are having Onana non-start tomorrow. All notes, Onana is starting tomorrow, that's it. Bijura Prita, good evening, David, but I need to see Bendayer in goal. Yeah, but I don't know when that's going to happen, because Erik ten Hag is not supposed to answer your prayers. But we wait and see when the right time is going to come, because you are not going to see Bendayer when you're playing in Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, because the higher we go, the cooler it's becoming in the tournament of the Carabao Cup, and Ten Hag wants to defend it and really have it again. Then Dasher Larry, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, my boss. Dickens, thanks, RD. I trust your source. I think other sources should be consulting you for their better information, because others say the wrong facts. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for obviously sticking it and keeping it this channel. Then I'm having Webi Siwale RD. I think Onana should be given chance, just as David Deha was given. Yeah, for me, I'm positive. I'm pro Andrew Onana to be given a chance, but all he needs to do is he should save himself too. You know, those saves that are really in his level to be made, let him be made, because we look at the goal we considered against Brentford. We're going to hate to save it, but he couldn't, you know. And the moment Brentford got that only goal, they obviously had to go on and obviously hit us left, right, and center and sit back to make it hard for us to score. But thankfully, God helped us, and obviously we pulled out a miracle of 2-1 late win. That is it. Then David Zimola, can David, the great shot stopper, come back? He cannot come back, and that's not going to happen. He's not coming back. Then I'm having Opio Ivan. Hello, Rokani. What are the inquiry list of players and which players are back from the injuries? The injury list, those that are back from injury: Varane, Rasmus Højlund, Sergio Reguilon, Kobe Menu, and Sofian Amrabat. Those are the 5 players returning from injury. But those that are really injured: Luke Shaw, Terrell Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Those are the 4 injuries that United is having right now. And Casemiro, though he's having just a soft knock that is keeping him out for some days, and is going to obviously return from Brazil next week early. hope I've gone ahead to give you all the injury list of Manchester United. Then Henry J. Uganda, hey Rokani, we decided to let Ten Hag do what takes us to the good times we use. Let's trust the process. Yeah, we just have to trust the process, and I think he knows exactly what he does. And every time he continues putting Andre Onana in goal and we concede goals, right? Obviously, it's his job that's going to be on the line. So I think when Andre Onana fails to improve, the manager will bench him. Trust me, the manager will bench him. Then we are having David Zimula, De Gea, can see, not coming. That's the old chapter. The new chapter is Ben Dayer and Andre Onana. Promise Leby, good evening guys, good evening Promise, how are you and where are you watching us from? Then David Zimula, some news on Greenwood to return. Greenwood's return is really hard. It's really hard because the staff of Man United are really not allowing that to happen, and even the female footballers of Man United don't wish to see him come back at the club. So the only good news that we can get of Mason Greenwood is simple: selling him and obviously getting some money out of him. So his selling price, I think, is being set by Man United, and if Aroli continues to fire up all cylinders at the club of Man United, a club of Getafe, then he'll be in the best way. He would have gone ahead to put himself in the market to return to some good football. Promise Leby says she's watching in from Dubai. All right, now I asked you guys on whether Eric Ten Hag is right to back Andre Onana. 76% have told me yes, 23% have told me no. So looks like the vast majority of the fans of Man United are really okay with Andre Onana being in between the stitches of Manchester United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Hope you guys have had fun and have gone ahead to do a live. And I think I'm trying to do this on the daily to come in through and obviously talk to you, because I miss talking to you. Most of you put up comment sections. Most of you come out and really put up stuff in the comment section. I cannot come out and react to it, but I have some comments I really want to react to before I obviously sign out and call it a live video of the day. And I'm having who is this guy? I'm having someone who questioned me about Amrabat and Rasmus Højlund. He came out and told me, you informed us that Amrabat and Højlund got injuries. How come that they were starting? Now, I came out and obviously did my predicted starting 11 of Man United. I included Amrabat and Rasmus Højlund. Now, I told you that the coach of Morocco came out and confirmed to us that Amrabat was injured. You get? And that's why he never played in the two encounters, a friendly against Ivory Coast and the African Cup qualifier game against Liberia. Right? Then, for Rasmus Højlund, he put out a tweet himself, a post on his Instagram story, that he doesn't know how he's going to wake up. His back might be in pain. So that's what I really had to base on to come on through and talk to you about those stories. And I found a lot of interest in it, and maybe some of you got understood me. But even after doing that video, I came back and really brought you even the training footage of Man United, where these players were training for the club of Man United, and I told you exactly that it's really good to see that these players are really back kicking the ball for this club. So that is it, and I think it's now to say goodbye. David Zimula, thank you for watching in. Promise Leby, Henry J. Uganda, Opio Ivan, Webi Siwale, Dinkins, Dash, Bijirwa, John Evans, thank you for obviously keeping it United Matters channel. And John Biamokama, thank you for obviously subscribing to this channel. Remember, we are left with just some, is it 200 subscribers to hit 16,000 subscribers. So guys, continue to subscribe, see to it that we see this channel grow big and bigger. So that's what I had for you. Eric Ten Hag presser reaction. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims will come back from the mosques. I think Juma Karim is done, and we are right to say Barak Lau Fikum to the Muslims. The Christians, may the living to God bless you abundantly. We are out for now. See you later, and hope you guys are really having the best of the best